Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Welcome back to Going In Raw Matt Chat Edition. I'm glad that you get a reprieve from your travels.
Yeah, we need a break, sometimes. So there's a lot going on in the world.
Yeah.
So I found some time, carved out some time to stay home, do Matt Chat, get a break before hitting the road later on.
All right. Well, good. I really appreciated where you were during Ask Stephen Larson, bowl of cereal.
Yeah. Well, I'm really going out there, find the places to hit the hard-hitting questions. Getting answers, the most important questions on everybody's mind.
The especially war-torn bowl of cereal. All right, man, let's dig into these Matt Chat questions.
Yes.
Of course, yeah, this is Matt Chat, man. If you guys want to send us a video question, it's totally easy. Just hop on the Patreon at patreon.com/Stephen Larson. Not only do we have a variety of reward tiers there, but also we've got at the $20 a month mark, you can send us Matt Chat questions, and then we'll answer them here on the show.
Correct.
First up, man on the front lines, Doc Hensla. He's got a question. Let's see what he's got to say.
Hey, Stephen Larson, this is your favorite doctor, Doc Hensler, here with a Matt Chat question. So with everything going on, my question is, what are the biggest non-wrestling events to affect wrestling? So throughout the course of history. So, with the coronavirus going on, I think that this is probably the biggest, but I want to hear you guys' feelings on non-wrestling events that have affected wrestling. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc Hensla.
Thank you,
I'll
Doc
go
Hensla.
first.
I hope, first of all, hold on. Doc, hope you're safe out there. Yeah. Stay safe.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Jeez. Gee whiz.
Anyway, Steve, sorry.
Me, Doc Hensla. What if he opens up a Matt Chat question and goes, hey, Stephen Larson, like that?
Well,
infected.
Doesn't work that way.
Man, yeah. Hey, man, our thoughts are with you totally. So in terms of real world situations, WWE, they seem to sort of swing in a certain direction when it came to post 9/11 stuff. They went really heavy. I know they did like tribute to the troops stuff. And they really started hitting home the support the troops type thing after 9/11. Of course, with the rise, and I know this was, and you mentioned this before I wrote it down in the notes, so I was going to sort of let you have a crack at it, but obviously the Benoit thing, and the rise, I would think that if the Benoit thing didn't happen, the rise of the knowledge that we have of CTE would have eventually forced the WWE to take another look at how they handle concussions and the wellness and their wellness policy. So I think there was that groundswell of CTE related stories that would have made the WWE change how they went about things, and certainly the Benoit thing fast tracked that.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you have any other things?
I was trying to think of something, because kind of what's going on now is not, it's something that's fairly, it's all encompassing across the globe, and I can't think of anything on a worldwide scale of this magnitude that has affected wrestling to this degree. I thought maybe World War II might have had some impact on the industry with wrestlers potentially being drafted, because I know like baseball was really affected. A lot of players either enlisted or I think a lot of them enlisted to serve. And I did a quick search and I really couldn't find anything. It was post World War II that saw the rise of the NWA as kind of the unifying body for professional wrestling, but I don't think those two things were necessarily related per se.
I think there was a bit of a downturn during World War II, but I think that the NWA probably, I don't think it was a result of World War II having been done, but probably, I don't know. I know that the 50s were a boom period. Yeah. So it could be like an indirect thing, Maybe. You mentioned Benoit, and I think that is that's one of the huge things in terms of determining how WWE did their business, in terms of paying more attention to the health and well-being of the wrestlers under their employ, instituting a wellness policy, and to at least, as we've seen far more recently, seemingly a pretty strict concussion protocol, which is beneficial for the athletes there. But in terms of something that's kind of all-encompassing, that's forcing shows to be canceled, that has the potential to maybe put wrestling promotions out of business,
I couldn't really think of anything, maybe apart from some regulatory thing years back where states started regulating athletics to a more stringent degree, and some companies or some promoters just couldn't keep up with that. I just don't know about it. I can't really think of anything on this scale that's affecting the business to such an extent as kind of what we're going through right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, pro wrestling seems to have existed in a bit of a bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
After that, let's see here. We've got Christopher Rappersad.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a series of questions here about the upcoming WrestleMania. So let's see what he has to say.
Hello, Stephen Larson. So my question is, for this WrestleMania, is this WrestleMania going to be the weirdest WrestleMania we're going to experience? What's your guys' opinion?
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you, Christopher. I get to go first.
Yes.
This will probably be the Mania we'll ever experience. The closest I can think of to date was WrestleMania 9, where they kind of gimmicked the whole show.
I was thinking the same thing, too. I was like, yeah, this is the
at,
weirdest one since 9.
Yeah, it was at Caesar's Palace. So it was all kind of vaguely ancient Rome themed. Like commentators arrived to the ringside area on various, well, at least Heenan came in on the camel.
Mm-hmm.
I think other performers rode in on other animals. Everybody's decked out in togas and such. That was a very gimmicked out WrestleMania. Zoe apparently has an answer that's different from my own. Anything more to add? No? Okay. But in terms of seeing a huge departure from what the Manias of past were like, spectacle, scope, and whatnot, this is such a vast, I assume, would be such a vast departure that short of the COVID thing becoming a seasonal thing and being the specter of every winter and early spring, this is kind of going to be the outlier, and it's going to be weird.
Yeah, it is going to be really weird. It'll probably, if you know, the weirdest one that you can go back and watch now is probably WrestleMania 1, because it was the first one. I mean, relative to maybe how they produced their shows before, there wasn't like there was spectacle, but compared to even WrestleMania 3, there was not a lot of spectacle to 1. 1 just felt like a big. I mean, I think the distribution outlet was the big difference maker in WrestleMania.
Well, there was
1.
that, and there was the star power of all the celebrities they brought in for it.
Yeah, which is spectacle for their time.
Yeah,
if you just go back and look at it now, though, it's
like a house show. It's just a house show.
It looks like a house show.
Yeah.
So in terms of like which ones can you watch to be like, oh, this is kind of weird, or the circumstances are kind of weird here. Yeah, it's like it's 1.
It's 9.
There are elements of 17 that were weird because they just bought WCW.
Mm-hmm.
It was the go home. No, wait, it wasn't. Yeah, it was the go home. That was the Raw before WrestleMania that they bought WCW. And then there was like, WCW wrestlers up in the skybox thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a weird one too. But otherwise, yeah, this is far and away going to be the weirdest WrestleMania.
It's going to be such a departure from anything we're used to. We're going to get all sorts of gimmick pre-shot matches.
Yeah, even if this becomes even if like everything shuts down, let's say it's an annual event where everything shuts down in March and April, they'll have all that time and the retrospect, the hindsight of this Mania to figure out how to do it so that it's maybe not as weird next year.
Well, then there's also the chance that this is going to seem like a recurring thing where this particular time of year. Yep, they're going to move it to middle of the summer. They're going to swap out SummerSlam, make that WrestleMania, have Spring Slam or something in the usual WrestleMania slot, or they'll just cancel a huge show in the springtime.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
which would probably make more sense because you want to have Spring Slam, and then or maybe they'll find some real value in having once a year, kind of like a closed set show. Maybe it'll force their hand to do something different. Be new.
Yeah, be more cinematic and stuff. Be new.
Yeah.
Do something new. Matt Field is next with another question about WrestleMania at the Performance Center.
My match chat question is, with WrestleMania happening in the Performance Center, how do you think it will change the viewing experience in terms of camera angles, the lack of fans? Do you think watching it watching it on the TV without that sort of atmosphere, do you reckon you'll be any more excited than usual or less excited? Sorry for the long video. Too sweet. Enjoy.
Thank you, Matt Field.
Thank you, Matt Field.
I go first. I jokingly have written down in our notes, fog machines. I think so. Look, the matches that are going to be filmed at the Performance Center, so for example, AJ Styles versus Undertaker, the Boneyard match. I get the feeling they're going to go on location somewhere for that.
Yes.
The stuff that's going to happen at the Performance Center, they're going to be taping it in advance. So I think the kind of thing that we sort of saw on Raw, where because there were no seats there. They were just like set pieces.
Yeah, there's some LED panels,
right?
Like obelisks,
so I think
like monoliths from 2001.
Juiced up versions of that.
Yeah.
Like they'll just really deck this thing out so that there's all sorts of stimuli happening and not just the emptiness of the Phantom Zone.
Mm-hmm,
you know? And so, but it'd be cool if they did stuff like, okay, so for example, Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar. I'm thinking right now, one spotlight above them to make it super dramatic, just two powerhouses going at it, right? And then like a little bit of the fog machine, so it's kind of smoky too.
He just went all fog machines. You mentioned this earlier this week.
All fog machines. So you want a lot of like just very basic, simple atmosphere there. For The Fiend and John Cena, you do a little bit on the Firefly Funhouse. You basically do that like the House of Horrors match.
No, do interdimension tension, the various Bray Wyatt places. You do the House of Horrors, you do Firefly Funhouse, you culminate things in the wrestling ring.
Right. How would you direct Becky versus Shayna? Same as Drew Brock, probably, right?
Put it in the octagon.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, you should put it in a cage of some sort.
In a cage of some sort. Becky's like, okay, I will not only like beat you in your own playing field. Let's do it in the steel cage. Yeah. That's how you do it. I mean, what we saw a little bit on Raw, I hope they'll stick with. I think they're gonna keep the hard A cam facing towards the ramp, and we'll probably see a lot more of the LED stuff where the crowd would be. As we saw I didn't really notice it as much during the matches, though I hope they find a way to incorporate it. A lot of the photography of the Seth Kevin Owens stuff seemed, I won't exactly call it cinematic. They were using camera angles that you don't normally see in a wrestling product.
Yeah, no, they were definitely going
for dramatic impact
outside the box there. Yeah, for sure.
And I hope they incorporate that into how the actual wrestling is photographed at WrestleMania. Because if you can't do your usual presentation, try to think of new ways to bring spectacle in such a smaller environment. And I think part of that is changing how you shoot the show, just making it feel different and therefore maybe special.
I hope that they're taking this opportunity and using it to spark inspiration as opposed to, feeling defeated and being like, just whatever. Yeah, write this one off. Who cares?
Exactly. I don't want this to feel like a
obligation,
a throwaway WrestleMania. That's a disservice to everybody who's worked their butts off all year to get to this point. Next, got a question from Philly Flexer.
Hey, Stephen Larson, your boy Philly Flexer here, just now leaving work. I need everybody to kind of stay at home and be careful about there. But anyways, my question to y'all is, let's say if it was a regular year, this 2-day WrestleMania card is actually a pretty good idea. I mean, we had it with the Tokyo shows and everything there, Wrestle Kingdom. So I was actually thinking, if this was a normal year, how would you guys like to have the two cards? Who would you like the main event night 1 or night 2? Who would you have do something amazing or whatnot to get that WrestleMania moment or whatnot? I mean, because there's a lot of guys out there who can say they deserve it, but I don't know. You guys tell me what y'all think or whatnot. How would y'all book y'all WrestleMania 2 nights? Take it easy.
Thank you, Philly Flexer.
Thank you, Philly Flexer.
Probably not. I like the 1-day Mania. I mean, like the 2-day Wrestle Kingdom was cool. It was a lot of wrestling, though. 8 hours over 2 days is a lot.
Yeah.
And, I don't want to have to sit through an 8-hour Mania, but at least if it's all in 1 day, I get through it all in 1 day. But if for the sake of discussion, if it were to happen, ideally, These would be the main events I would have. Night 1 would end with Bray Wyatt defending his Universal title against John Cena. I think not only having Cena go after number 17, Bray having to kind of overcome the Cena obstacle that he couldn't do before. I think storyline-wise, there's a lot of really, really good stuff there that, in a normal year could have been built in a really effective manner to be awesome. Night 2, Drew versus Brock. That's the main event. The entirety of the WrestleMania package.
Yeah.
So I think if they really want to build up Drew as the guy, he has to close Night 2 with the belt. Otherwise, it's not going to be the coronation moment they probably want it to be. That's how I would kind of go about it.
I think Becky Shayna would have to. I think that they did a pretty good job up until this. They had done as good a job as anybody. Becky won the title last year at WrestleMania. I would love to I wouldn't mind having number one. I wouldn't mind having a 2-day WrestleMania. I kind of think that my own energy levels are such that I could definitely soak in 2 4-hour days better than 1 8-hour day, especially if the way they did Wrestle Kingdom this year, there are stakes involved going into Night 1 and how that pertains to Night 2. And so I would definitely, I would be open to it regardless. I mean, here's the thing. I really like the idea of having takeovers be on their own week and feature on their own weekends and feature like non-pay-per-view weekends. And then you can feature NXT title matches at WrestleMania. And so you get rid of the takeover, you have a WrestleMania Night 1, and then you have your WrestleMania Night 2. Night 1, I'd have Becky and Shayna main event. Night 2, I'd have Drew and Brock main event. I mean, you'd have to deal with Fox if they care about that shit with SmackDown being on Fox. But I think those are the two stories that I think sort of have earned those spots at this point. I don't think Roman Goldberg has earned shit, really. No. And I think Cena Bray probably could have earned it if the title was still on the line, like you're saying. But you need a little bit. You can't rely exclusively on history. So I would have hoped that Cena would have been around more than just the 2 appearances that he seems to have made. Yeah. Between then. So yeah. Next up, Joshua Martinez has speaking of NXT, he's got a question about NXT. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey, friendos. So with the news that the TakeOver matches are now going to take place on NXT April 1st, my question is, if this goes good, should NXT start doing these special episodes, kind of like AEW, again, like the Bash at the Beach, and I mean, they were going to have a Blood and Guts episode, but things like that. Personally, I think if, this episode of NXT does good, obviously different circumstances with everything that's going on, but I think it would make NXT, I don't know, give it a little jump start, especially because it's been a little lacking lately. Let me know what you think. Thanks, friendos.
Thank you, Joshua Martinez.
Thank you, Joshua. I go first. You do? Yes,
yeah, you went first last time.
Oops.
Yeah, So here's the thing about NXT is that they're at least once a month you'll get a main event that is damn near takeover level. I do think that NXT right now, especially if they're not going to take it once things maybe go back to normal, if they're going to go back to normal, they got to find a way to mix things up a little bit. I'm honestly kind of over the Full Sail experience. And I'd like to see them take the next step, take it on the road, see what ideas they can have that to like your point. You made this point before that, you think that it'd probably just end up looking like another main roster show. I don't disagree with you, but if they specifically tried to not do that and bring some creativity to how you would deal with a larger venue, that's the first thing I want to see. But whatever they do, they need to start doing stuff to freshen up the product. And I think that themed special episodes, smack dab in the middle of the takeover schedules, would probably be a great way to go. We see this with AEW all the time. They did Bash at the Beach. They're doing Blood and Guts. So they have found, hey, you know what? We do pay-per-views on a quarterly schedule. Let's have some special episodes for us to build to in the meantime. NXT needs to do something like that where they have something special to build to, because TakeOver, you get like 4 matches, maybe 5 matches, sometimes maybe 6. And it's not enough for all the talent they have. They need to mix it up. They need to go on the road. They need to do something fresh and new to keep me interested anyways. And the ratings seem to be proven out with that.
Yeah, I think some occasional special episodes would do them some good. Maybe, especially now where things kind of seem to be in a bit of a rut. I'm even interested to see, starting next week on the 1st, how these planned TakeOver matches, how they go down on regular NXT TV. Granted, it won't be in front of the Full Sail audience, so we don't know exactly how they'll react. If it were, it'd kind of be a throwback to TakeOvers of yore, where they didn't have them on the road. They were just at Full Sail like all the other shows. They were just kind of, as Josh would say, special episodes of NXT. It'd be interesting to see if that were the case. I understand the potential appeal or perks of taking down the road. I just don't know right now if that's something they would be interested. I don't know if it's something that's necessary. I think a lot of things necessary to freshen it up aren't in terms of where it's at. I think they're just kind of in a bit of a rut creatively right now, where it feels like maybe there's too many different things going on, maybe too many cooks in the kitchen. They don't exactly know where to focus creative energies right now. That's kind of what it feels like to me. If they're putting these same shows in 5,000 seat venues, I feel like my response to them would be the exact same. That's just me though.
Yeah. Next up, Cult of False Realities has a question, a global question. Let's see what he has to say.
What's going on, Steve Larson, all the friendos out there? Look at my eyes. What do you see? It's the Cult of False Realities, back with another Matt Chat question. And this one is going to be simple yet intriguing and a little bit complicated. So, we've had British Strong Style, Japanese Strong Style, all these different places that are doing great wrestling. My question is, what country should be the next hotbed for wrestling? Should it be Africa? Should it be Rome, since they do the Greco-Roman stuff? Where should the next hotbed be? Too sweet, too good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Cult False Realities.
I go first.
I'm going to say China and or India, and I think it's because WWE has made some attempts to make some inroads there. The 2 most populous countries in the world, 2 huge markets. I'm sure WWE would like to get a foothold in, develop talent, start NXT subsidiaries, and get huge broadcasting deals. And if that were to happen, it may kind of kickstart the new wrestling promotions popping up, putting on shows, other avenues for talent to develop, and then eventually get signed by the WWE system.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that seemingly is what happens in every country whenever WWE sets up shop there.
Pretty much.
So, if for no other reason, I don't know exactly what the scene is like in either of those countries currently. But we have heard that WWE is trying to get something going on each of those places.
Yeah.
If they were to make that possible, it would probably kickstart some sort of either resurgence or emergence of a wrestling scene in either country, and who knows where it would go from there.
Yeah, China and India seem to be the most likely answers to this question. Although there's a lot of talent that comes out of Australia and New Zealand, and I kind of wonder if that's a potential hotbed as well. I have no idea what their indie scene is like there.
Or Brazil.
Yeah. But it wouldn't surprise me if Australia's indie scene, if that's anything like the UK's, I could totally see them just using the UK as a blueprint and taking over the industry down there, which, I'm sure people would have opinions on one way or the other. The B-Man, Patrick Sparks, real superstar all day. Picture of Patrick Sparks. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey, friendos, Pat here. All right, so TakeOver was canceled, which is a bit sad because I always look forward to TakeOvers. They're always amazing. But with that being said, I got some NXT and TakeOver questions for you. I'll put you on the spot. You only get one. You can have one runner-up. What was the best match on a TakeOver card ever? And what is the worst match on a TakeOver card ever? And then, as a secondary question, who is the most overhyped person to enter or go up to the main roster from NXT, and who is the most underrated? Thanks, friendos. Bye.
Thank you, B-Man.
Thank you, B-Man, Austin Theory, Patrick Sparks.
All right, Steve, what is in your estimation, the best TakeOver match?
So it's going to be one of two. It's either going to be one of the Ciampa Garganos, probably what's commonly known as the best Ciampa Gargano. Is it 2 or 1?
It's either 1 or 2.
Yeah, because 2 was the last man standing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 3 was last man standing. 1 was a street fight. 2, I think, was the one where Ciampa won, where he DDT'd him on the wood.
Yeah.
And then the third one was the last man standing one.
Probably 2, and if for my personal pick, it's either that or it's I can never get enough of this match. Sasha Bailey won.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Jesus Christ, that's such a classic match.
Yeah, man, it
is so flipping good. So yeah, it would be one of those. I think those are 2, even in terms of all-time feuds. Those 2 feuds are way up there. I mean, if you look at the characters back then of Bailey and Sasha Banks, what an amazing story that was told. And then, of course, they did the Iron Woman match. Yeah. But then, obviously, Ciampa Gargano. It feels like it might be an obvious answer, but man, it's all those matches were just terrific.
Really good. What is the worst TakeOver match that you can think of? Here, think about that. I don't know if you'd consider this the best. Maybe my favorite TakeOver match is Sasha and Bailey won, and then it's also Johnny Gargano versus Andrade. That was one of those matches where I watched it, and then as soon as it was over, I watched it again.
Yeah.
It was so dang good. And I feel like TakeOver had a lot of good matches before that one. I kind of feel like that would really set the template from everything that's followed since. Because it was 40 minutes, physical.
After that, no, that was the one. That was the one that every TakeOver was match of the year, match of the year, match of the year.
Yeah, that's the one that felt like really set the bar for what's happened subsequently over the last couple of years. Yeah. Such a stellar match. The first match that popped in my mind as far as worst TakeOver match that I can remember, I haven't seen all the TakeOvers, was Baron versus Apollo Crews.
Yes, that's a good one.
I think it was the TakeOver in London. And it was, at that point, a pretty typical Baron NXT match where he didn't really do a whole lot. He wasn't the wrestler he is now. And his trash talk was horrible. Mm-hmm. The one thing that sticks out more than anything else about that match is how horrible his trash talking was.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Terrible. I'm looking at, so the Sportster has a list of the worst TakeOver matches. Here's a couple, and I honestly, I can't remember dick from any of these matches. Baron Corbin versus Bull Dempsey is number 3 on their list.
I vaguely remember that one. That one was not great.
Oh my God, what is this? So TakeOver Fatal, again, these are all early TakeOvers. You're not going to oh, this is an interesting one. Number 1 is Samoa Joe versus Baron Corbin.
Yeah. I don't really remember that match very much.
Nothing from the modern era. Nothing from what we're talking about. Gargano.
The last couple of years, yeah.
Yeah. Apollo Crews versus Ty Dillinger's on here. Lars Sullivan versus Cassius Ohno is on here. That might be one of the more recent ones.
Yeah, I think that is the most recent one on there.
On the list. Dana Brooke versus Asuka's on here. That's not surprising. Kevin Owens versus CJ Parker. Hideo Itami versus Bobby Roode's on here.
I didn't think that was a bad match. I remember that one.
Let's see here. It says there was nothing overtly bad about the match itself. The quality of the in-ring work was good, and they told a solid story with the pace building, but in the end, nobody seemed to care, which didn't help the match. Oh, this is great. Number 10 is Adam Rose versus Camacho, and Adam Rose is my pick for the most overhyped. Remember how much hype Adam Rose had behind him? And he essentially just turned into No Way Jose 1.0.
I know.
That dude had so much charisma.
I know.
He had so much, and it was like that camera charisma where you look at his face and you can't look away. Mm-hmm. And they gave him so many of those video packages saying he's coming, and he's got the lollipop. And they had zero idea what to do with him.
Nothing. Most overhyped, in my estimation, is the Ascension. Dominated NXT. Did a slight repackage for the main roster where they were talking crap about a bunch of old school tag teams. Did them no favors, and pretty much out of the gate they were buried.
Literally, by the time they were done with their first promo, they were done. Done. Yeah.
Most underrated call-up, Steve. Who you got?
Alexa Bliss. Like, she came out of NXT doing nothing, and then she showed up on main roster and just like put it together quick.
Yep. Same with my answer, Carmella. I think she was the last
Mrs. Irrelevant.
Of that particular year's draft, 2016, I think. And she has gone on to accomplish a lot of great things on the main roster.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. Good answers. Heath Thompson's up next.
Hey guys, first time Matt Chatter. I'm kind of nervous, but I don't have a question. I have a thank you. Past couple of years, I've had to go back to school to learn a new trade, and now I work from an office that is an hour and a half from the house, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to work from home from said office. And I don't think I could have got there without this podcast. It kept me company and sane and laughing even the past few years when I didn't want to do those things. So thank you. And next week I'll have a question. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Heath Thompson.
Thank you, Heath. What a nice thing to say.
Yes. Thank you very much. I'm happy we can help. A couple of text questions. First from Dwayne Huff. He's asking, assuming we don't all die, does WWE do a 2-night WrestleMania next year?
I can't completely rule it out. No, you know what? I don't know. Yeah, probably not. But
no, it messes up the schedule for the whole weekend. They're not going to do a 2-night WrestleMania.
I don't know. I'd say it's like a 20% chance it might happen.
The only way it could happen is if SmackDown moves to a different night. Because they could have TakeOver Friday.
They're already doing TakeOvers off pay-per-view weekends. I know they weren't going to do this time. But like if NXT, if TakeOver becomes a thing, here it is. If TakeOver becomes a thing that can carry its own weekends, if they feel like, hey, we don't need TakeOvers for pay-per-view weekends. And in fact, there's some evidence to suggest that if WWE wants to start ruling the entire year of pro wrestling, which they basically already do, why would they have all their eggs on those single pay-per-view weekends?
No, I don't think they would all the major four, but I think Mania is such a special event. They would probably continue to have a TakeOver associated with that.
Yeah, probably. But you never know.
Yeah,
if they decide to not do that.
Now, if SmackDown moved to a different night, if it was Wednesday night SmackDown or Thursday night SmackDown versus Friday, then they could rearrange the schedule to accommodate it. But short of that happening,
if there is some, I'll put it this way. If there's some overwhelming financial reason that was unseen up until this Mania, you better damn well believe they're going to do it every single year. Because if they all of a sudden think, holy crap, the number, I have no idea what number could go through the roof in terms of this. But if they did this 2-night thing, and some metric out there says, hey, you could double up your revenue by doing this 2 nights, or if ESPN offered them a deal and said, because apparently right now they're far apart in the money talks. If ESPN said, hey, we'll give you X number of dollars more, just have it over 2 nights so we can have a big bulk week and we don't want to deal with TakeOver. Damn well.
I mean, if money talks, that's a possibility. But I mean, like
WWE do that.
You know, if they did a 2-day WrestleMania, that's double the ticket costs or prices they can make, because you're charging for 2 shows over 2 different days. You might have to you can either buy single tickets, maybe you're a package deal, but you're essentially buying full price tickets for 2 shows rather than 1. I'm sure they're aware of that. They could double their gate revenue. They could have done that any year, but there must be some reason why they haven't done it yet.
If the money's there, they'll do it.
I'm saying the money could be there. That's double the box office they could get for it right now, and they haven't done it yet.
Yeah, but TV money is a lot more now.
I know it's a lot more, but remains to be seen. Luis Ariza, the final text question. With Shayna likely getting traded to Raw in exchange for Charlotte, my question is, what other trade deals would you friendos do if you were in charge? All right, Steve, you get Raw, I get SmackDown. Let's set up a blockbuster trade.
All right. I will give you... Listen to this deal.
All right.
Do you accept? This is a great deal for you, by the way. Hold on. I'll even throw him in. Wow. I will give you... You've got SmackDown, right?
Uh-huh.
Holy crap. If I was you, I would take this deal.
All right, spit it out.
This is for the men's division right now, okay?
All right.
Ricochet.
Okay.
Cedric Alexander, and I'll throw in Andrade for Bray Wyatt. That's a really good deal for SmackDown. You've got 2 potential main eventers for a gimmick that SmackDown. Bray doesn't fit on SmackDown.
Replace Ricochet with Kevin Owens. You got a deal.
Wow. I would do that. I would do that.
Yeah.
I would do that. Yeah. Hey, here's the thing. I don't think anybody loses here. I really don't. Because SmackDown, holy crap, that would be huge for SmackDown. And then Bray can do his shit anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't think he fits on SmackDown anyways. SmackDown's such a weird fucking show.
It is a weird show. It's a show without a voice, really. Or its voice is Bruce Pritchard. It's at a touch voice. All right, let's figure out some large. This is a pretty large deal. So this is the basis what we got here. So,
oh hey, your camera just died.
Oh, it did. It froze. How'd that happen? It's working here. That's strange. I don't know how to do anything about that. Hold on. Let me try this.
Yeah. There you go.
There we go. I just stopped video.
Okay.
All right. Let's make this deal even larger. So the Raw needs some more tag teams. It's pretty much right now it's War Raiders and Street Profits. It's pretty much all you got.
Yeah.
So let me think here. And trying to think who to send over to Raw to SmackDown from the women's division. Do you see what I have written down here on the notes? Do you?
Oh, hold on a second. Okay. All right.
Who from your women's division you willing to send to SmackDown? Doesn't have to be 2 names. It can be 1.
If you give me a killer deal, I'll give you Charlotte. I've got Becky, Asuka, and Shayna Baszler.
I know.
What do I need with Charlotte? And Charlotte's a huge name.
Yeah.
Who is more closely associated with SmackDown anyways.
Yeah. All right. Hold on there. Who else is on SmackDown?
How is it they didn't have the Revival running the Raw tag team division?
I don't know, man. They dropped the ball with those guys immensely.
Vince didn't see it.
Nope.
Guarantee that's what it is. Vince didn't see it.
Yep.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. Why are they so old school?
Come on, man. Put the trade together.
All right, here you go. This is what I'll give you.
Okay, what do you got?
There you go.
You just put a poison pill in your trade. I don't want that piece of shit.
He's better suited for Raw anyways.
I will guarantee you that dude is a backstage nightmare. That's the only thing that explains him.
Well, that's a nightmare I rid my hands of. Yes or no? Approve or deny?
So you're offering
He's
me,
a draw.
so the people know that you're offering me the Usos, Braun, Fire and Desire
for AOP and Charlotte.
No, because I need tag teams. You're offering me a 1-for-1 on the tag teams.
Yeah, Usos are a huge upgrade over AOP.
I need the Usos. Okay, we'll do this. We'll do this. This helps you immensely also. Let's do this. I'll take the Usos, Dolph and Bobby Roode, and Fire and Desire
Okay.
for AOP, Charlotte, and I'll open the door. Who else do you want?
Let's see.
Because here's the thing, I could get a lot out of Bobby Roode, even if as a singles guy.
Give me Angel Garza.
No, that's why I gave you Andrade.
That's what I was trying to get.
Because I've got Angel Garza now.
That's why I'm trying to get both of them, and that could be. They could be a tag team.
I'll throw in Humberto Carrillo.
No.
No? Okay, how about this? I'll throw in Rey Mysterio. How are you hesitating right now?
He's got what, like another 6 months on his deal? He's probably gone.
No, man, those stem cells, they do a lot.
Yeah, they might do a lot for him and another company. That's my concern.
Wow, I can't believe you're saying no to that.
I got SmackDown. That's supposed to be a more sports centric show. Give me Bob Lashley.
Oh, okay. Easy. That'd be fun. Hey, you can have Braun versus Bob Lashley. That's a good feud.
I think Lashley's got a lot of untapped potential.
I think he does.
WWE.
Absolutely.
I think he could be a huge main eventer.
All right. Those
Man,
are good.
I totally won that trade.
Those are good. Oh, wait, man. Oh, man. Who did I get?
Bray, Usos, Dolphin, Rude,
I got Bray, man. I got the most over guy in the company.
Kevin Owens could be the new Stone Cold if they book him right.
Yeah, if. Here's the thing, you're not
SmackDown.
You're not in
He'll be
control of
booked right.
creative. You're just in control of where the talent goes.
Well, I'll get in Bruce Pritchard's ear. Hey, if you really want to get Kevin Owens over, this is how you do it.
You got to say, chat me up, Bruce.
Chat me up, Bruce. You're going to roll tide Kevin Owens as your top guy. Bruce, what the fuck were you thinking, not making Kevin Owens your top guy?
Well, the tickets are already sold.
How the fuck does that make it?
All right, everybody. That's it for Matt Chat. Thanks so much for tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. If you want your Matt Chat question answered right here on the show, hit us up on the Patreon at patreon.com/Stephen Larson. At the $20 mark, you can send your Matt Chat question in, and we'll answer it here on the show. Thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.